Good day everyone, I am Lorraine Sorsal, one of the reporters of Group 4 with the topic Morphology. What is morphology? The term morphology is Greek and is a makeup of morph, meaning shape, form, and ology, which means the study of something. Morphology is the study of the structure of words and word formation. It studies how words are formed and varied, a branch of linguistics and one of the major components of grammar, especially morpheme. It studies the relationship between morphemes and how morphemes can be put together to create new words or new forms of the stem word. Now that we're talking about morphemes, a morpheme is the smallest meaningful unit in the grammar of language that cannot be divided into smaller parts. Examples: re, open, ed. Three morphemes, minimal unit of meaning again, minimal unit of meaning, and minimal unit of grammatical function that indicate past tense. Tour, ist, and is. Minimal unit of meaning tour, minimal unit of meaning ist, marking person who does sth. And grammatical function s indicates plural. Morphemes can be words themselves or parts of words such as prefixes, suffixes, and roots. The study of morphemes and their combinations is a fundamental aspect of morphology in linguistics. There are two main parts of morpheme: free morpheme, which will be discussed by Miss Juliana C., and bound morpheme, which will be discussed by Miss Marish Sugaral. Thank you.
Good day, everyone. This is Juliana. This report aims to explore the concepts of free morphemes, their distinction into lexical and functional morphemes, and their role in language formation. So let's start with free morpheme. Free morpheme is the type of morpheme that can stand alone as words by themselves. For instance, the English language words like friend, boy, and tree are all examples of free morphemes because they can exist on their own and convey their meaningful meanings. Free morpheme have two categories: the lexical morpheme and the functional morpheme. But we're gonna talk first about lexical morpheme. So, lexical morpheme referred as an open class because we can add morphemes to these words. And these morphemes carry the central meaning of a word that are typical nouns, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs. They represent the basic building blocks of vocabulary and communication. And words like girl and boy, which are noun, jump and look, which are verb, red and pink, which are adjective, are all examples of it.
Thank you so much, Miss C. Before we proceed to the last category of free morpheme, I will introduce myself first. I am Lance Humphrey Elia from BLELSD 1-A. Since Miss C discussed the first category of free morpheme, which is the lexical morpheme, let's move on to the second and the last category of free morpheme, which is the functional morpheme. What is functional morpheme? Functional morpheme is referred also as closed class because it cannot be added to other morphemes. These are conjunctions, preposition, auxiliaries, and pronouns. For example, he, she, we, but, nor, they, and many more. And now, let's discuss the next type of morpheme, the compound morphemes. Compound morphemes consist of two free morphemes that combine together that create a new word. Just like dog and house, dog house, rabbit and hole, rabbit hole, birth and day, birthday. Another example for this is black and board, blackboard, ball and pen, ball pen. It's just a piece of cake, right? And let's move on to our next presenter, Ms. Sugaral. The stage is yours.
I would like to welcome you all again in the world of Barbieland, where I would like to tackle about bound morpheme. So, what is bound morpheme, day mga madi? A bound morpheme in linguistics is a morpheme that cannot stand alone as a word and must be attached to another morpheme. It is always part of a larger word and cannot function independently. So basically mga sisi and mga bro, ang kaning bound morpheme thingy is the opposite of the free morpheme. And bound morphemes includes prefixes, affixes, and suffixes, which is nasad si infix. So karon unsa day ang palainan sa affixes, prefixes, infix, and suffix. When we say affixes, children of Gaia, affix Affixes is an affix or a general term that describes any type of morpheme that is added to a word to create a new word or to change the meaning of an existing word. Ni ang pinaka-common ani sa ako ninumduman years ago is an IC, LY, UN, RE, this or DIS, LY, NES, and ING. And these pretty affixes have mga junakis, which is lang prefix, infix, and suffix. Kani si suffix sa family tree pa, siya ang kinamagwangan. Wanna know why? Well, prefix is an affix that is added at the beginning of the word, and it changes the meaning of the word by giving it a different grammatical function. For example, ang prefix na on can be added the word happy, which creates the word unhappy. Next is infix. Kani si infix is just like the middle child of the family or just like me for a reason that it is inserted into the middle of the word rather than to the beginning or end. So, naa siya sa tunga mga pangga. Infixes are not very common in English but they do exist. For example, the word bloody is an example of an infix. Suffix. Suffix is ang kinamanghuran because suffix is an infix that is added to the end of the word and it changes the meaning of the word by giving it a different grammatical function. For example, the suffix able can be added the word read to create the word readable. Agree plus able is agreeable. So now, let's move on to the two babies of the bound morpheme, which is derivational and inflectional morphemes. So, derivational and inflectional morphemes are two types of morphemes which plays a crucial role in the structure of words in language. While both types of morphemes alter the meaning or function of a word, they do so in different ways. Bahalang mag-igsuon ni sa derivational and inflectional morpheme, but naa sila, let's just say, distinct qualities that makes them unique. Derivational morphemes are morphemes that change the meaning or function of a word by adding a new meaning or function to the original word. And kani na morpheme can be prefix, suffix, or infix. And do always remember and keep in mind that derivational morpheme can alter the grammatical category of the word, such as changing a noun to a verb or a subject to an adverb. And to further nurture your understanding, kani's derivational morpheme can also indicate the relationships between words, such as indicating possession or comparison. For example, mga baby love, ang prefix such as an or anti that change the meaning of the word such as unhappy or anti-war. Suffix na full or less that can change the meaning of a word such as hopeful and helpless. Infixes such as that change the meaning of a word such as recycle, rewrite. Before we explore sa inflectional morpheme, unsa ganito gi-keep in mind ninyo about derivational morpheme? Oh, yes naman. Derivational morpheme can alter the category of the word. Very good, children. So inflectional morphemes. Kanisad si inflectional morphemes kay a type of bound morphemes that can change or the grammatical form of the word. But do not change its basic meaning. So basically, this kind of morpheme indicates the uses. Wait, Timani mga pangga, grammatical information such as past tense, number, or person, and just like divisional morphemes, of course, magamit sad sila sa mga pinalanggang anak ni affixes, na si prefixes, suffixes, and infixes. But they are often used to indicate a category of a word, such as indicating a plural form of a noun or the past tense of a verb. The design is very elementary naman ng verb and noun, so hindi ko na yarn i-discuss. The example of inflectional morphemes includes prefix, such as on or pre that indicate the negative or the past tense of the word, such as unhappy and pre-owned. Suffixes such as s or ed that indicate the plural form of a noun or ang past tense of verbs such as cats and walked. infixes such as a or o that indicate the negative or the past tense of the word such as a, happy, or owned. Balikon ko lang, okay? Kay basig mo gawas ni sa activity na mo niya, and again, derivational morphemes can change the meaning or function of a word, while inflectional morphemes can change the grammatical form of a word. Derivational morphemes can be prefixes, suffixes, or infixes, while inflectional morphemes are often used to indicate the grammatical information such as past tense or such as tense rather, number, or person. And now may I call on Miss Toretta for the contractible morpheme.
A pleasant morning to all of you. I'm Miss Marie Astoretta and I'm here to tackle contractible morpheme. This can be contracted in informal style of language. These are auxiliary models such as will, have, shall, had, and would. These are the examples of contractible morpheme, which are I will to I'll, they had to they'd, she had to she'd, he had to he'd, they will to they'll. An example of contractible morpheme in a sentence is I'll agree to her opinion. The subject of the sentence is I, and the auxiliary modal that was used is will. The sentence indicates that I agree to whatever opinions he or she might come up. Contractible morpheme is a type of morpheme that contracted or shortened without altering significant idea. With this type of morpheme, we can swiftly convey conversation that makes it more casual and conversational. The next presenter is Mr. Lance Humphrey Elaya.
Thank you so much, my beautiful Barbies. To summing up our discussion today, morphology is a study of structure of words and words formation. The smallest meaningful part of the word is called morpheme. Morpheme have two classifications. These are free morpheme and bound morpheme. Free morpheme categories are lexical and functional morpheme. Always remember, if the two morphemes combine together, they create compound morpheme. Bound morpheme includes inflectional morpheme and derivational morpheme, and the additional word parts that can be added as construction called contractible morpheme. And now, let's see if namina ba mo. 70. The direction here is count and identify what type of morphemes in these following words. The first word is band. So can you count and identify what type of morphemes the word band is? You're right. There's only one morpheme, and that is free morpheme. The second word is hiding. So I'll give you 3 seconds to answer that word. 1, 2, 3. What's your answer? You're right. There are 2 morphemes. The first morpheme is hid. That is free morpheme, and the ing is a bound morpheme. The word is receive. I'll give you another 3 seconds to answer that word. You're right. There are 2 morphemes which are both bound morpheme. And the last word is unbreakable. I'll give you another 3 seconds to answer. Impressive. You're correct. There are 3 morphemes. The prefix "an" is the first morpheme, which is the bound morpheme, and the free morpheme there is break, and the suffix is able. That is a bound morpheme. If you want a complex word, try this one. Anti-disestablishment tardiness. So if you have an answer, try to contact us or write down in the comment section below. Goodbye. Thank you for listening. I hope you learned something. Annyeong.